Welcome back to Opening Statements. Let's talk about what's tipping the scales of justice in Kentucky as closing arguments are set to begin this morning in one of the biggest cases in true crime, the case over the murder of Crystal Rogers. So we've got two men being tried right now. One of them is her ex-boyfriend, Brooks Houck. The other one is an associate of his. Now, there was a third man who was tried first, and that would be the associate's father. So he's already been convicted in connection with this alleged conspiracy. So on Thursday, a detective testified about finding out after the fact that Brooks Houck had recorded his own interview with police. That's right, he was interrogated because he's the boyfriend, so it makes sense. Investigators are going to want to talk to him. But why would he record it? More now from Scripps News, Lexington.
When Houck first walked in the room, he was caught on camera actually pressing a recorder in his pocket. The detective on the stand said no one ever does that when they're being interviewed. He said he didn't know Houck was secretly recording the interrogation until later. Houck spent over an hour, writing a statement on his whereabouts of July 3rd and July 4th of 2015 when Rogers disappeared and was never seen again. They said he wrote down a bunch of details related to his job as a builder, but never once mentioned going to the farm with Crystal the night of July 3rd, the night she vanished. They brought in witness after witness that disputed some of the things Brooks claimed to have done that day. During this police interview, the jury watched Houck reading his written statements out loud while the detective was out of the room. Prosecutors believe he was recording his statements to share with his family so they could all keep their stories straight. Just days after Rogers disappeared, Houck was already talking as if she was gone for good. Have a listen.
I've got all the hope in the world, but now I'm a single parent, it appears to me, where she's been there 100% of the time for him to raise and rear him, where I know that he didn't have to go to a daycare or a babysitter, and I know that his mother's going to take care of him. And now, where am I at without that love and support from her? Now I've got a little boy who's 2, who's going to grow up his life if something's not done where she's not brought back safely.
Oh boy. All right, so that was just some of his interrogation. So now he's on trial with defendant Joseph Lawson. And Joseph Lawson's father, Stephen Lawson, was convicted of tampering and conspiracy to commit murder. Now, let's talk about this. Are we going to get closer to justice for Crystal Rogers with this trial? Closing arguments expected today. Mario Gallucci is joining us from New York City to give us some analysis. Okay, Mario, what do you think? Looking at this case objectively, having been on both sides of the courtroom, you've been a prosecutor, you're a defense attorney, you've tried high-profile cases. Do you think this family is going to get justice when this is all said and done?
I do. So it's always a difficult case for a prosecutor when you don't have a body. And I've tried cases like this. And to add to that, it's a circumstantial evidence case because everything here, there's no direct evidence that he actually murdered her. But they've done a very good job of showing all of the things that occurred before and after the crime, including him recording the statement. In addition to that, other people involved in this recorded their grand jury testimony. So when you take all of that into account, and the fact that one of the people involved, I believe was his brother-in-law, turned his phone off for 24 hours, left it at his home. And people are like, well, it's not pinging anywhere. Yeah, but the prosecution's able to show that over his lifespan, he's never had his phone off for 24 hours. So that's another piece of the puzzle in this type of circumstantial evidence case. So I think we will be getting justice for Crystal Rogers, and we already did. One of them's already convicted. And I'm surprised we haven't heard any evidence of that in this trial.
Mario, great analysis, as always. You mentioned Brooks Houck's brother. Brooke Houck's brother. Gosh, it's Monday. It's a very Monday. I'm inarticulate today. His brother, Nick Houck, a former Bardstown police officer, left the department and was really disgraced in him leaving the department, has not been charged, but there has been somewhat of a cloud of suspicion. Prosecutors made some comments at a court hearing about Nick Houck potentially selling a firearm to undercover officers, that the government was analyzing that firearm to see if it was the one used to kill Crystal's dad, Tommy Ballard. We never got answers to that. We don't know what the analysis in the end established, if anything was conclusive about it. But we know that Nick Houck was spoken to. Tell me, Tommy, if you're Nick Houck, would you have counsel now, right now, today?
I believe everybody should have counsel all the time.
That's such a Mario Gallucci answer, right? Call your lawyer.
Never,
right.
Never, ever speak to law enforcement without a lawyer. So yes, he should have counsel immediately.
Yeah, I just keep thinking with information coming out in this trial that things might get really real for Mr. Nick Houck. You mentioned about the phone being turned off, and I don't know if he will ever be charged with anything. He hasn't been, so I want to be very clear. He's never faced any charges. Just there's been a lot of discussion, as you know, Mario, in the true crime community. People want to know if his brother Brooks did this and if he had help in it. And as you said, one person, Steve Lawson, already convicted. Mario Gallucci, you've got cases to win. We need to let you get off to battle this morning. Thank you so much.